You know what they say. Something's got to give. It's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see two teams, each riding a 3-game win streak, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens as they get set to match up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Moments ago, a scene that's played here since 2004. Big Ben Roethlisberger greeted by this sold-out Heinz Field crowd. His Steelers getting set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight.
And last week's win was indicative of how good this team can be. It was a complete performance.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down, eluding the pressure right. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 135 yards, big game.
3rd in the league in receiving yards, and that's a strong number. That means he's being consistent each and every time out.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Joe Hayden there to bring him down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick, and they'll set up shop right near midfield. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, start off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one. And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Caught right side at Snead. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they were hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking for Snead, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton, and a big turnover there as his... The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Flush to his right. Man open, that's Jaleel Scott. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. He uncorks it for Snead, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead. The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Mark Ingram really coming into form in the NFL. First 5 years in the league, didn't have a 1,000-yard season, but he's done it the past 2 years.
Yeah, and I think a couple of reasons for that. Number one, offensive line has been rebuilt, and they put a lot of resources into that, and they've gotten better. Number two, he's had great running mates back there. Tim Hightower 2 seasons ago. Then last year, of course, the sensational Alvin Kamara. And last but not least, the defense is playing so much better in New Orleans, they don't have to throw the ball as much on offense. He can run the ball even more.
And he'll bring this one inside the 35. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
He dumps it down to Ingram. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. This quarterback now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, Jackson. And his throw is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Jackson now. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They've got it 1st and goal at the 7. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now Jackson. Fighting through pressure, but now he's swallowed up and taken down.
The competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week, and we just saw their first one of this game.
3rd and goal, Jackson. Over the middle, that's caught by Scott. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. On 2nd down, Ingram. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start our tour out in the City of Angels, Los Angeles. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Jared Goff leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we make the trip east as we head all the way to Jacksonville to check on the Jags. And they were winners in their ball game as they were able to handle the visiting New York Jets. Nick Foles, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. And finally, Monday Night Football has a good one in Denver. Chiefs, Broncos in the AFC West on the first night of October. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And the third quarter starts with a run by Ingram. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Jackson. Throw left side complete to Scott. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Defensively, they just lost him. He was waving his arm saying, I'm wide open. They found him.
Yeah, and it's so interesting about when a receiver starts to wave his arms because some guys right up the line of scrimmage, they declare themselves open. You know, those guys throw the one arm up, hit me right now. In this case, he was so wide open that he was frantically trying to get his attention to make sure he got the football. And then I'm sure his only thought when the ball was in the air, don't drop it. Had too much time to think.
Ingram again, a first down carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Throwing is Jackson. Oh, he stays up, able to power through. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, the teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Timmy Jernigan in there to drop it for his second. They'll try to get the ground game going with Ingram. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Here's Jackson to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Scott. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
To throw is Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Scott. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Well, that'll get him the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Another carry for the workhorse tonight, Ingram. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. It's Big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And he's brought down, but not before picking up the first with a very effective stiff arm. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Scott. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. A handoff. It's Mark Ingram. And now running right through him. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Kenneth Dix.
Detroit!
They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now it's Ingram. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And that is incomplete. Now Jackson back into his end zone. He goes underneath to Ingram. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll make it a second down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense.
He's got a man complete. 30, past the 20, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Jordan Lastly with his first.
Lucky 56.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
They go play action here on 1st down. He uncorks it for Snead. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 51 yards. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the nimble footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front, because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
He'll get it up the middle. Only a yard that time. 2nd and goal. One man in the backfield. That's Ingram on 2nd and goal.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Ravens, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Atlanta Falcons come to town. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Pittsburgh.